Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Venerable says, friends, I am glad to see you all this afternoon. Today, as I was invited to give a brief introductory talk on Buddhism and meditation. So our general topic for this Dhamma talk is Buddhism and meditation. I want to talk on three subtopics. The three subtopics are: who is the Buddha? What is his teaching in brief, and meditation? Then how to practice meditation? These are the three subtopics I want to talk to you today. And at the end of this session, we want to practice little bit. Practice for a few minutes. This will be about 1 hour program. Let's come to understand who the Buddha is. As you all know, Buddha was born in India. Buddha was the supreme person, supreme being, supremely enlightened being. He clearly understood that this human's mind can be cultivated, can be developed. As he was born as a prince, he led his luxurious life as a prince life. He eventually understood the reality in the world, and he renunciated worldly life and became an ascetic. After that, seeking what is wholesome, what is kusala, what is truth, he went from place to place, seeking many different teachers. Eventually, he found a teacher, and he learned something. He learned how to practice jhana. But he was not satisfied. He then went from there to another teacher, and he got some more experiences, and finally he thought that that was not the right way. He himself practiced rigorous, vigorous practices, austerities for 6 years. Even he could not understand, he could not come to reality, come to understand how to cut off all these defilements and attain full enlightenment. He gave up two extremes. You know, there are two extremes in the world. He gave up sensual indulgence and then self-mortification. These are the two extremes in the world. He gave up both these and he followed the middle way. He followed the middle way, middle path. That is what is called the noble Eightfold Path. As he followed this way, he understood the technique to practice. That is the mindfulness technique. Mindfulness, how to develop mind. He understood that it is important to understand mindfulness and develop this mindfulness so that one can come to the state of serenity and then switch to insight. That is what he realized. On the full moon day of May, he sat under a tree at Bodh Gaya and practiced mindfulness of breathing. And then the first watch, during the first watch of night, the Buddha gained a knowledge, that was the ability to read his previous lives, understand his previous lives. Then he practiced further and he gained another knowledge, which is the ability to understand how beings are born to this world and how they pass here and are born somewhere else. He understood both this. And when it is dawn, when it is early morning, he understood the way. He gained another knowledge, which is the ability to cut off all taints, all impurities, all even subtlest form of impurities, and he purified his mind. That is how he completely cut off all defilement and purified his mind. He became a superhuman. He became the supreme Buddha. Buddha is not the Buddha only for humans. He became the Buddha for devas and humans. Therefore, he has an epithet, he has a special term. People use a special term, that is Sattha Deva Manushana. He was the Sattha. Sattha means teacher. He was the teacher for both humans and devas. So in such a way, the Buddha became the Buddha. Buddha realized mainly three principles in the world. That is his Dhamma. His Dhamma, he has taught many things. He has taught us both the teaching and the discipline. Dhamma and Vinaya. Vinaya means the code of discipline. Code of discipline is mainly for the monastics, the monks and nuns. But the teaching is not only for monks and nuns, but for all the fourfold Sangha, fourfold community. Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka and Upasika. We all have to follow the Buddha's word. In order to follow the Buddha's word, we have to learn the teaching. We have to learn the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha has taught us mainly 37 factors. That is what is called Supreme Dhamma. Supreme Dhamma, sublime Dhamma. 37. These 37 factors can be condensed into 3. Now, 37 factors are, I simply mention this. If you like, you can write this down. Otherwise, simply understand, try to understand this 37 factors. These 37 factors, I will give you this with 7. First one is the 4 establishments of mindfulness. 4 establishments of mindfulness. then the 4 right efforts, then the 4 roads to power, then 5 spiritual faculties, 5 mental powers, 7 factors of enlightenment, and the Noble Eightfold Path. Altogether there are 37 factors. These are the pure Dhamma, real Dhamma, what the Buddha really taught. We all, if we want to understand the Buddha's teaching, we have to understand these things. In order to understand this Dhamma, as I said, we can condense this Dhamma, condense all these 37 into 3 factors, 3 principles. Now let's understand the 3 principles. These 3 are like a triangle, Of the top, the most important Dhamma, the most important thing that he taught is the 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths, that is the top one. Then the dependent origination, second factor. Then the third factor is the 3 characteristics of existence, just like a triangle. The 4 noble truths, the dependent origination, and the 3 characteristics of existence. Now we can understand the triangle. Okay. As I said earlier, Buddha taught us to practice mindfulness. In order to understand this whole teaching, these principles, these 3 principles and the 37 factors, we all have to practice. We all have to start from the nucleus, from the middle of the triangle. What is the middle? That is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the most important thing to be practiced. When one practices mindfulness, one can understand the 3 principles. So practicing of the Dhamma, practicing of the teaching is practicing mindfulness. So the Buddha, as a historical Buddha, we accept the Gautama Buddha, the Sakyamuni Buddha, who attained full enlightenment on the full moon day of May under the tree at Bodh Gaya. We all, according to Theravada tradition, we all accept him as our unparalleled teacher. He is a supreme teacher. As we understand, we trust him. That is why we understand. That is why we follow him. We follow his teaching. The most important thing to practice the Dhamma, practice meditation is, first of all, we have to trust the Buddha's enlightenment. We have to trust the Buddha's enlightenment. That is, in Pali, it is called Saddha. Saddha, confidence. We have to have confidence in the Buddha, conviction in the Buddha. Only then we come to the path. As we trust the Buddha, we accept what he said. We accept what he said. He said that he understood previous lives. Not only him. Later on, when the other monks, nuns, when they practiced, they themselves understood this. So it is clear. It is an accepted fact. Like that, we accept the Buddha's teaching. The teaching is very clear. This is not a teaching to press. This is a teaching for all of us to think again and again do our own investigation. We can do our own investigation. We can do our own exploration. We can understand whenever we understand the Dhamma, whenever we read the Dhamma, if the teaching is fit to us, if it is good, if it is right, if it is wholesome, then we can accept it. If it is wrong, we can give up. Give up this what he said. Even we have freedom. Freedom of thought is given 100% in Buddhism. Friends, that is the most important thing. Freedom of thought. Buddha said, do not believe anything simply because it is mere hearsay. Because it is our tradition. It is simply because of our culture, because of our religion. We don't want to believe. We don't want to believe such things simply because it is ours. Simply it is there in the scriptures. Simply the teacher is our own teacher. Like that, the people believe things because their teacher is teaching. Teacher is saying all this. So simply they believe. But Buddhism, the teaching of the Buddha is not for that. Buddha's teaching is to investigate, do our own investigation and understand if it is right, if it is good, if it is wholesome, we can understand and accept it. If it is wrong, if it is demerit, if it is unwholesome, then we can reject. That is the teaching. So friends, the teaching is very clear. The Buddha taught us the Four Noble Truths. Truth, according to the Buddha, the truth is one in the world. Truth is one. Truth should be common to all beings, not only humans. Truth should be common to all beings. Truth should be one. What is that truth? The Buddha realized the truth as unsatisfactoriness. That is the truth in the world. Unsatisfactory. People are unsatiated. They are unsatiated. Insatiate people. They have no satisfaction. Unsatisfactoriness. The Buddha used the term dukkha. Dukkha. That is the truth in the world. Then why it is called four truth? Four noble truths? Those are not the four truths, but four facets of truth, four sides of the truth. Truth, as I said, truth is dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Then the Buddha taught us not only unsatisfactoriness, not only dukkha. He taught us the origination of the dukkha, the cause of dukkha. What is the cause? Buddha said, cause, there is a cause. There is a reason. Buddha pointed out clearly that it is because of craving. Craving is the cause. That is the second aspect. Dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness, the cause of dukkha. Then the Buddha understood the cessation of dukkha. That is the third aspect. Cessation. We can, once we remove the cause, we can come to the cessation. That is what is called the cessation of dukkha. And for which there is a way. The way is the dependent, the noble eightfold path. Noble eightfold path. So that is how the Buddha said unsatisfactoriness, the cause of unsatisfactoriness, the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, and the path leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. That is the central teachings of the Buddha. Those who want to understand the real teaching, what the Buddha really said, we all need to understand this thing, the central teachings of the Buddha, which is the Four Noble Truths. Now let's understand the second aspect, second principle, which is the dependent origination. It is the most profound teaching, most difficult teaching to understand. Buddha said, the whole world, in the whole world, no individual, no independent things. Buddha said, one exists because of the other. One exists because of the other. Things are interdependently existing. That is the teaching. That is the teaching. Things exist interdependently, supporting each other. And again the Buddha pointed out, things are interrelated. There is an interrelatedness. Things are interrelated and interdependent. That is what is called interdependency, paticca samuppada. That is the second principle. We'll in future, those who wish to understand further, we can understand this further and further, understand in detail. Now let's understand the third principle. Buddha said, everything, every conditioned thing, all conditioned things, all created things, all conditioned things are impermanent. Sabbe sankhara anicca. All created things, all conditioned things are anicca. Anicca means no nitya. Anitya. Impermanent. Things are impermanent. Whatever is in the nature of impermanent, it is in the nature of unsatisfactory. That is the teaching. Unsatisfactory. Then whatever is in the nature of impermanent and unsatisfactory, there is no core, no substance, no self. Buddha clearly said, that is no self. Selfless. So, impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness, soullessness. These three are called three characteristics of existence. Friends, when we practice the Dhamma, we can see this, we can understand these three characteristics of existence, for which we have to start the practice. Okay, now the sub-topic, we talk about the Buddha and his Dhamma. Now let's come to the third topic, subtopic, that is practice. How to practice? Buddha taught us how to practice. As I said, the triangle, there is a triangle. Of the triangle, the very top is the Four Noble Truths. Then the dependent origination, and the other side, other corner, other angle is the three characteristics of existence. We have to understand these things. Understanding is the first thing. That is, the Buddha used the term know. You have to know things. That is why you go to the university. That is why you learn all these things. Learning, that is to gain knowledge. That is to know. Know is not enough. Know is not enough. I know is the saying. Most people today say, I know. but eventually they don't know. I know whatever you know is good, but know is knowledge which is not sufficient to understand reality in the world. Reality can be seen, can be experienced only through meditational understanding, meditational experience. That is called experiential wisdom. We have to have experiential wisdom. That is wisdom, not knowledge. So wisdom and knowledge are two things. When we know things, we know many things, that is our knowledge. But we have to see things. See means not see through our eyes, but see through our mind. That is what is called vipassana. That is the uniqueness of the teachings of the Buddha. The technique of meditation. That is the technique of meditation. Buddha taught vipassana. Vipassana, we cannot practice only vipassana. In order to practice vipassana meditation, we have to practice samatha as well. Serenity. So, serenity and insight both should go together, hand in hand, together. Samatha and vipassana. First of all, we have to practice samatha, serenity. Then we have to switch to insight. That is the technique of the Buddha's meditation. In order to practice this, we have to start from the nucleus, from the middle of the triangle, where we have to dig, we have to delve sort of like a tunnel. It is like we are delving, we are digging a tunnel, which is a square-shaped tunnel. This tunnel, the square-shaped tunnel, is the 4 establishments of mindfulness. Mindfulness, 4 establishments of mindfulness. That is the technique of meditation. He taught us to establish our mind in this body. That is meditation. Establish mindfulness on this body. Body, when you talk about body, there are 2 bodies. This body and the breath body. First of all, we have to understand breath body. Then we can understand this body. So, his kind admonition is to establish mindfulness on this body. That is one side. The second side is establish mindfulness on feelings. We have many different kinds of feelings. Establish mindfulness on feeling. Then third, establish mindfulness on mind. Then the fourth one, establish mindfulness on mental objects. These 4. Now, that is what is called the technique of the Buddha's meditation. 4 establishments of mindfulness. Now, when we practice this, we can develop our mind, and day by day we can come to the human perfection. That is what is called arahanthood, the Buddhahood, the enlightenment. That is how we come to understand the results of the Buddha's teaching. Buddha very clearly said, If one would practice this accordingly, one would be able to realize this, understand this, come to the perfection within 7 days. Friends, let's understand this Dhamma as the Buddha said. If we understand this clear Dhamma, the real Dhamma, what the Buddha really said, then we can practice and experience this Dhamma. So I think we can stop talking now and practice for a few minutes. Whenever we practice, it is necessary to practice serenity for a few minutes, and then we can switch to insight. But we have to understand it is not that easy to switch and penetrate, see through within couple minutes.